Hello and good evening. Welcome to the final episode of Assault on the Studio. My name is Elena and my awesome co-host Chris joins me tonight on, sadly, what is the last episode of the show.
This is true. Tonight is the very last time you will have to put up with us. But enough of that. Let's watch the Kardashians do the normal Kardashian thing.
And you can see them fighting there. Looks like some normal Kardashian stuff. I've seen them do some crazy things on TV. Looks like some intense footage there. I'm not really sure what's going on. You know, I can barely keep up with those crazy Kardashians. Not that I want to, but next up we have a review of Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the blockbuster sales-shattering and sequel to Call of Duty Black Ops. Let's send it over to Morgan Webb from G4's X-Play with her review.
Considering the previous 3 Call of Duties set sales records for not just video games, but all of entertainment, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 has a lot to live up to. First up, let's take a look at the single-player campaign. Black Ops 2's campaign continues the story of CIA operative Alex Mason, but also delves into the military adventures of his son, David Mason. The tale spans 2 generations, covering Alex's relationship with the previously thought dead Frank Woods in the 80s, and David's efforts to stop a terrorist leader in the year 2025.
Raul Menendez is the leader of Cortes Dia, and the most dangerous terrorist since Osama bin Laden.
Menendez is a really bad guy, and an effective villain, both due to the threat he presents and the believability of his motivations. You'll hate him, but you'll sort of understand where he's coming from, which makes the entire narrative compelling.
Menendez wants payback.
Black Ops 2 may be the best-looking Call of Duty game yet, and the same smooth and responsive gameplay fans have come to expect is fully intact. The 2025 setting helps mix things up with fun future tech toys to play with, like nanotech climbing gloves and wrist-mounted drone hacking devices. For the first time in the series, the campaign offers a branching storyline in which your decisions can seriously alter the way the story plays out. We're not going to show you any specifically because, hey, spoilers, but they range from cosmetic changes to whether or not particular characters live or die, and do a lot to encourage replay value. Some of these decisions will also trigger Strike Force missions, which are optional levels that will affect the endgame of the story. These are meant to be strategic, offering the player a satellite-level top-down view of the battlefield that lets you issue commands to your units. However, the unit AI is woefully under-equipped to live up to the concept behind the missions. It's often best to just take control directly of a unit and go Rambo in first-person mode, which is a bit disappointing.
They want a fight! We give them a fight!
Still, the ambitious globe-spanning campaign is tremendously successful at what it does, and avoids feeling like a phoned-in follow-up thanks to the replay value and new ideas on display. Anyone who's taken a look at the top-played games online knows that when it comes to multiplayer, Call of Duty, and Black Ops in particular, rules the roost. As a developer, what do you do not to screw with success? The answer seems to be, tweak it, don't change it. The first tweak has to do with loadouts. The new Pick 10 loadout system allows the player to pick 10 different options for their loadout, whether it be guns, perks, attachments, wildcards, or what have you. This balancing act means players are constantly experimenting and changing what they carry. Also shifting in Black Ops 2's multiplayer is the switch from kill streaks to score streaks. Score streaks are designed to broaden out the reward streak beyond simply killing other players to, well, killing other players and some other stuff. This includes rewards for capturing territory and supporting teammates. The Prestige leveling system has seen some upgrades as well. Now the wiping the slate clean function that comes with the level 55 landmark is completely optional, meaning if you do Prestige, your leveling and weapon attributes stay with you through the process. For those interested in showing off their death-dealing skills, there are 2 new features in this COD. First, COD casting allows you to stream and commentate on your games.
Seems like he's trying to make some moves here,
There we go, he is making some moves.
and unfortunately it didn't pay off.
No.
Sorry, Fluffy.
And in another blow to the employment of X-Play editors, the new instant highlight reel allows you to get polished level highlights from your matches cut together almost instantly. And finally, there's Zombie Mode. The biggest addition this time around is a mode called Transit. This puts you in zombie-filled maps that are tied together with what must be the world's worst bus route. To help you along this path, Treyarch has added buildables. These are workbenches which let you build tools and weapons a la the Dead Rising games. However, if you like a little bit of living targets mixed in with your undead, try out Grief Mode. This allows you to face off against another team while also slaughtering your way through endless amounts of zombies. Bottom line, Black Ops 2 is not a cash-in on the Call of Duty series' past success. We have no problem awarding Call of Duty Black Ops 2 a 4.5
Not bad.
out of 5.
X-Play, weeknights at 6:30, only on G4.
Wow, that game looks awesome.
It does.
Luckily, with finals soon to be over, I can actually get around to playing it instead of just awkwardly looking at the box every time I go to the store.
How convenient that it came out just in time to pick up for that Game Around Your Holiday shopping list. Now let's shift focus to something a little more serious with all of the holidays coming up. Chances are, if you are a student here at the university, you may be headed home. What if someone breaks into your house, apartment, or dorm and steals all of your things? Well, luckily, the university's police force is offering to patrol around your home, dorm, or apartment for free this holiday season. To get more information on this or any other program the university police have to offer, just head over to www.uakron.edu/safety/. And the phone number for the police department is 330-972-2911. Don't hesitate to call them. And even if you see any behavior that is out of the ordinary, be sure to give them a call.
Oh my good golly gosh, that is handy.
It's very extremely handy.
Well, stick with us after the break and we'll have some awesome stuff to show you, including a review of the new James Bond film, Skyfall. So stick around and watch this awesome commercial in a few minutes. But first, we're going to talk about the holidays coming up.
Yes.
I think you have something to share.
I do. It's very exciting. This year we have a Toys for Tots donation drive here at the studio, so bring your toys down. We are taking Barbies, Legos, board games, iPods, earbuds, anything from the range of 4 years old to 17 years old. Bring all your toys to 21409 Spicer Street.
There are a lot of good homes in Akron that need some help, so
Yes.
please bring everything you can.
And you know I'm really excited for this holiday season. What are you doing?
Not much really, just spending time with family. That's what's important to me. So
Looking forward to hear more of that after the break.
welcome back, and I hope you really want a Coke now. Do you want a life of espionage, explosions? Go to a movie theater and not see Twilight, or maybe just Daniel Craig? That's what I thought. The new film starring the one and only James Bond hit theaters on the 9th of November, already scoring $245 million in the box office. This review of the movie will tell you more.
You know the rules of the game. You've been playing it long enough. M says this to Bond at the beginning of Skyfall, and while she's referring to Bond's vast experience, possibly hinting that he might be past his best, it's also a statement about the Bond movies in general.
Skyfall. Done.
I mean, we're all familiar with the rules by now. We've played the game so many times. 22 if you're counting.
Bond. James Bond.
And as Bond celebrates his 50th year on the big screen, and we reacquaint ourselves with those iconic elements like the villains and the girls, the gadgets, Skyfall could have easily felt contrived. But Skyfall is a master of its own game, and it's smart enough to adapt those rules. Skyfall pretty much begins like any other Bond movie. He meets M, he gets a mission, goes off to exotic locations, and of course shags a beautiful woman. These aren't spoilers though, these are the rules. But after those early expeditions to faraway places, Skyfall returns to London, remaining in Britain for the rest of the film. And from here on, it begins to stray away a little from the tested formula. Of course, there's still plenty of memorable action, including a barnstorming finale. But Skyfall is unafraid to intersperse it with scenes of literary dialogue and real emotion. Skyfall's plot is refreshingly simple as well. M is under threat, her past is coming back to haunt her, and that ghost seeking revenge is Javier Bardem's Raul Silva, who from the moment he appears on screen immediately ranks as one of the greatest Bond villains.
Mommy was very bad.
Because if we're honest, Craig's Bond has so far been let down by some unmemorable adversaries, but here Bardem is every bit his equal and a true antagonist, a painful thorn constantly twisting in Bond's side. Frankly, Bardem would steal the movie if it wasn't for another defining performance by Daniel Craig as Bond. Skyfall really provides him with the opportunity to showcase his ability as a great actor. He's brutal when he needs to be, and charming and suave when the situation arises. The weakest aspect of Skyfall has to be one of the Bond franchise's most enduring ingredients, the Bond girls. Naomi Harris is awkward as Field Agent Eve. She doesn't really seem comfortable in her action scenes, and her chemistry with Craig is pretty much non-existent. But you know, the reason why Harris and Bernice Marlowe get such a raw deal is that neither of them is Skyfall's real Bond girl. That honour belongs to Judi Dench's M. You see, once again, Skyfall's rewriting the rules. Way back in GoldenEye, M questioned the relevance of James Bond, calling him a
sexist, misogynist dinosaur, a relic of the Cold War.
And it's a theme that echoes once again in Skyfall, but this time it's technology that's made him an anachronism. In a world where computers can bring down economies as easily as planes, is there really a need for a man with a gun? The answer is yes. The 50th anniversary of Bond is being celebrated in many ways this year, but Sam Mendes may have found the perfect way to pay tribute to this enduring icon of popular culture. He's made the best Bond film yet.
007 reporting for duty.
For more on 007, check out IGN.
In more news that's British-themed, Kate Middleton and husband Prince William are expecting their first child. Let's take it over to Stacey, who is live in London. Stacey, what's going on over there?
Well, Elena pretty much hit it on the head. Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, is expecting a child with Prince William. At least we're pretty sure it is his. Okay, it's his. The future King of England shocked the nation and the Queen on Monday when he told media that Kate is expecting. Local media is reporting that Kate is most likely 6 to 12 weeks along. I bet that baby is going to be upset to find out it never has to work a day in its life. Back to you guys in the studio. Stacey out.
Thank you very much, Stacey. That was certainly, well, educational. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Well, Chris, do you know what time it is?
I have an idea, I guess.
It's December already, meaning it's that time of year again where we venture through some of the best and worst of this wonderful year that was 2012.
The year's best and worst already? Time certainly does fly, Elena.
It does indeed. We're going to start off with the biggest box office success in 2012. James Bond may have given this one a run for its money, but really this comes as no surprise. Batman, The Dark Knight Rises takes the #1 slot this year, somewhat unanimously.
Mind you, it isn't really the end of the year yet. There is one expected hit still to come, The Hobbit. It comes out December 14th, which of course has huge expectations. But The Dark Knight Rises surely is one spot worthy.
Definitely. Christian Bale is of course the star playing as Batman, with other names such as Tom Hardy, Anne Hathaway, and Morgan Freeman thrown into the mix and quite the cast. The Dark Knight Rises was the third and final of Nolan's film trilogy.
This year's biggest box office flop is next. Drumroll please. American Reunion. I must say that American Reunion wasn't the worst of the Pie Dynasty, and it certainly took courage to make. It's like the relentless prom asker. No matter how many no's get thrown his way, he keeps asking because he wants a date, damn it. American Pie is just looking to find success again. Unfortunately, this was not the answer.
You say again because the first two really were pretty good movies. To this day, you mentioned Bandcamp. First thing that comes to mind is a flute. But one can only take so many not quite mediocre movies before, well, you forget about them.
Next up is Best Action Movie. Denzel does it again in Flight. 'Twas indeed a thriller that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Denzel has really never flopped, has he? Every one of his movies you watch are 2 hours of your time well spent. I'll tell you what was a waste of time, though. Abe Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Great president, even greater beard, bad movie.
Abe Lincoln and vampires, two things that you certainly don't expect to ever hear in the same sentence. Unless that sentence is Abe Lincoln, Vampire Hunter should have been about slaying Edward Cullen. To the 12 people who saw that one, congratulations. To the other billions of people who saw the preview and had to rewind and make sure they really saw what they saw, well, you understand why this was action flop of the year. 2012's best comedy this year, we actually have the tie between 21 Jump Street and 7 Psychopaths. 21 Jump Street starring Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum will have you ROFLing for 109 minutes. 7 Psychopaths with star-studded cast is a goofy, odd movie that is one that you haven't seen that you got to.
Worst comedy, sorry American Reunion, unfortunately fell into 2 categories. If it makes you feel any better, 2 awards is the most any Pie of the Pie Dynasty has taken home in years.
Ouch. Other notable films of 2012, The Avengers, Perks of Being a Wallflower, A Bond, Skyfall, Looper, and Lincoln.
Did you get to see Lincoln? I got the feeling it'd be like sitting through 2 hours of 6th grade history class.
I did see it. It was actually a very solid film. And to those of you who haven't seen it, he dies.
And if that spoiler alert upsets you, then you may need to go back and sit through a 6th grade history class. Well, that's our 2012 segment. It's been a great year here, and here's to hoping for an even better 2013.
All right, well, it's time for another commercial break. Stay with us because when we return, we will review Halo 4.
Welcome back to the show. Do you like defending humanity from a slew of alien invaders with an awesome gameplay and even more awesome multiplayer? Then go hop in a Warthog and check out this review of Halo 4 by 343 Studios.
Ready to get back to work?
I thought you'd never ask.
.343 Industries Halo 4 is a great Halo game. It plays like a Bungie Halo game. It feels like a Bungie Halo game. If Halo 4 didn't have the 343 logo at the top, I would have sworn that Bungie made this game, and that's a good thing. I'm not bagging on 343. That was meant as a compliment. Plenty of people were nervous about Master Chief's future when Bungie walked away. Not me, Frank and Kiki, that's just what I've heard. And if you were one of those Halo fans who were nervous, don't be. I'm happy to say 343 didn't f it up. In fact, if you liked Bungie's Halo games, you're gonna love Halo 4.
Nice to see your luck is holding out.
While 343 followed the Bungie blueprint for Halo 4's Bones, they stuffed it full of some new baddies, multiplayer changes, and wrapped it all in a glossy new skin.
Maybe they haven't recognized us.
The Halo universe has never looked so good. The visuals are an amazing upgrade over previous installments. The environments, the enemies, Master Chief, Cortana's chest.
You've been busy.
Yeah, Cortana, what's up with the new, dimensions?
Can we worry about the giant metal planet?
The new baddies in the giant metal planet, the Prometheans, are a welcome change. Their tactics, weapons, and variety of soldiers reinvigorated combat that was threatening to become stale. You can only shoot the Covenant in the butt with a needler so many times before you want something new. Hey, I guess one more time doesn't hurt. While the Prometheans are a welcome change to the franchise, I have mixed feelings about the new music. It's fine, but you start up Halo 4 and don't hear Marty McDonald's iconic score. It feels weird. But not as weird as what's going on between Master Chief and Cortana.
I need you.
Cortana.
Chief.
It's kind of like watching your parents flirt.
Cortana.
Chief.
The sexual tension between the bioengineered war machine and his little blue holographic friend while they try to stop her from going crazy is curious.
You'll have to prime the launch for ignition.
What?
Right! The blast door's jammed! The missile won't fire until it's cleared! Get down there!
Does that mean what I think it means?
Chief, please.
Enough of the silly stuff. It's time to get down to serious business, the multiplayer. The biggest change between Bungie's Halo games and 343's incarnation is that for the first time in the series, there is a true experience level unlock system. Other changes in Halo 4's multiplayer include power weapons that spawn in random locations, new modes like Dominion, and Spartan, the co-op mode that replaces firefighting. With Halo 4, 343 had the pressure-packed task of taking over a legendary franchise from a beloved developer, but they stepped up to the challenge and created an amazing adventure. If Halo 4 is indicative of what 343 has in store for Master Chief in the future, then fans should be excited. Halo 4 gets a 4.5
Cortana.
Chief.
out of 5.
Chief, please.
X-Play, weeknights at 6:30, only on G4.
All right, well, we are coming to the point in the show where we like to talk about things that are happening around the university. Finals week is like the world's worst Santa. It shows up in December and gives you a present. Sadly, that present is stress, which is a really, really awful present.
Well, since all of us in the show don't want anyone to fail, we have some handy study tips for you all out there who are still hitting the books.
Study tip number 1, make sure you find the most busy and loud area to study. This will allow your brain to think of awesome things to associate all those things you should be memorizing for your exams. Also, you won't get bored.
Awesome study tip number 2, sleep. Who needs it? If you really want to get an A on that thermonuclear physics exam, chances are you won't have time for it. Head to anywhere that sells liquid sugar mixed with a little caffeine, pick up a can of Red Bull or Monster, and chug it.
Chug it.
This way you'll find yourself dozing off when you should be studying. And yes, we know the studies that show that you really should be getting a full night's rest prior to your finals, but I could easily Google a study that proves the exact opposite.
I agree. Way beyond useful study tip number 3, everything in your textbook is probably there because someone bribed the editor, therefore making it useless. Use Google and Wikipedia for all of your important information while studying. Not only is it free, but it also doesn't weigh 5 pounds and take up space in your book bag.
Lastly, and most important of all the study tips, seriously, don't do any of those. And if you do think those are better ways to study than just straight up hitting the books and putting the work in, well, let's just be honest. Chances are you won't be at the university for all that long anyhow.
All right, Chris, let's talk about what we've learned this past year.
This has been a good year for us as a cast here.
I think it has.
We've really learned a lot about how to make a good show. We've grown as individuals. I think you have done very well. You've carried all the weight. What have you learned this year?
Well, I like to relate myself to someone else in life, and I like to take one of their messages and bring it back to us in the small town here.
And who would that be?
I'm going to compare us to Miley Cyrus. You know, I'm really digging her new haircut, and also I think she's a fabulous role model for everyone from the ages of 2 to 20. So I definitely like her. One of her favorite, most loved songs, I think The Climb, because life is really about the journey, and it is about the climb. It's not about who wins or who loses.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And that's what I learned this past semester. I think it was that haircut that really hit home for me, made me realize how important Miley Cyrus is.
And I also want to send a reminder before we sign off that there are Toys for Tots locations other than on campus, all the public libraries. Anywhere else?
The local IGA, the Walmart has one. I'm pretty
true.
sure Target has one too. So make sure you drop off Toys for Tots.
Elena is very involved in all the Toys for Tots, so she's up on it a little bit more than I have.
I had to think about it. Also, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to give them a little teaser for what we have for next year on the show.
You don't want to miss what we have coming up for you next season on the wonderful studio production show. We have a sneak peek at what goes into a McDonald's Big Mac. You don't want to miss it. I've heard some crazy things. I've also heard that we are going to hit home with something that you folks can take to heart.
What would that be?
A touching story, of course, about a mother and a daughter.
Oh.
But I won't give it away because it's really exciting.
That sounds very sweet. Also, one last thing, we are going to have some spring break hints, some places you should go and save a couple bucks. Be really nice. I know we're all looking forward to that now with snow on its way. So.
Yes, and we are going to catch up with Honey Boo Boo, the very famous small child from Toddlers and Tiaras who now has her own show. We have caught up with her today and can give you the inside scoop on what her life is really like.
Do you really watch that show?
Of course I do.
That is horrible. I can't believe it.
Everyone watches the show. Also next year, we have some great ways to help you with your college experience. We give you the 411 and all the fabulous organizations on campus, along with everything that you need to be involved in to make yourself the best student you can be.
There are also a lot of tutors and people here that are willing to help you if you're struggling in any of your classes. So feel free to go down to the student center and find somebody to help you out.
Definitely. One of my favorite things is definitely the basement in Bierce Library. There's a tutoring services.
Very nice.
There's a math lab and a writing lab, and you can take all of your homework there and they can help you out. They won't write it for you. I've tried, but they'll give you some tips and some hints and to keep you focused.
Well, that's very good.
All of that there is in Bierce Library. Also, during finals week, I really want you to take that library and use its resources because you can rent out laptops there, you can rent out iPads, you can use all of their computer services and their printing services. Good luck to you during this finals week, and I hope you the best and have a great holiday season. Good night.
Good night, everybody.